My name's Andrew Coughlan. Served in the United States Army from 2002 to 2006. I was an infantryman stationed at Fort Drum, New York. Deployed to Iraq in 2003 and 2004. So during my deployment in Iraq in 2003 and 2004, I left physically unharmed. Survived a couple IED explosions that resulted in traumatic brain injury, but I wasn't diagnosed until later. But after my deployment, I brought home a lot of guilt for surviving. My team leader, Sergeant Lloyd, and one of my best friends, Charles Persing, were both killed in action on July 19th, 2004. And Charles actually saved my life. He shielded me from a mortar blast. So when I transitioned home, it was it didn't feel right that I should have been home. Instead of asking, why me? Why am I the one suffering? I just kind of asked myself, why not me? It's just I've been put in positions over the last 10 years to help a lot of people, and I think that's just Sergeant Lloyd and Persing working through me. That's the type of guys they were. I also lost a number of guys after I was med boarded out in 2006 for post-traumatic stress disorder. My roommate Russell Durgan was killed. My company commander Major Sloan was killed. So as I was transitioning, I was feeling good. A lot of guilt started coming back up. So the stigma with mental health in the military, I was very fortunate. I had a great chain of command that saw some of these PTSD symptoms. They pulled me aside, and if it wasn't for my chain of command, I probably wouldn't have gotten help as quick as I did. But I also know there's a lot of veterans in active duty that don't get that support. I know that I couldn't have done it by myself. It took a whole support, a whole team, to include family, friends, civilians, guys that I served with, guys that I met this weekend, to energize me. So a little over a year ago, one of my friends that I served with in Iraq, Russell Broughton, he was going through kidney failure. Russell and I served together in Iraq. We're in the same company but different platoons. We knew each other. We're both privates and specialists, so I'm sure we're on a lot of the same details together, filling sandbags and whatever. But he posted a Facebook post that basically said, "Hey, I've been on dialysis for the last year and a half. I can't be the father I want to be to his girls, and you can't be the husband to his wife." And he wasn't able to work. He was having a hard time at school, because dialysis was taking 4 to 5 hours a day, three times a week, so it was consuming his life, and if he wasn't taking dialysis, he was just sick. So anyway, he made this Facebook post, and it wasn't necessarily, a cry or a plea for help. He just said, "Hey, if there's anyone that feels inclined to call this number," and I know that there were a number of guys that we served with. He had some family members that called, and they were eliminated from the process due to medical reasons or whatever it was. So I called. I called Indiana University Hospital and said, "This is who I am. This is what I want to do. How do I start the process?" And we did a little phone interview, basically, just simple intake, and then I started going through testing. After it looked like it was going well, I picked up the phone and I called Russell and I just said, "Hey man, I just want to let you know this is what I'm doing. Hope it works out, and I definitely think that he was blown away, because I don't think he was necessarily expecting it to come from me. It's not like we're squad mates or teammates. We just knew each other from the Army. But anyway, May 20th, 2016, him and I went through a transplant. I donated my left kidney to him, and then I was able to bring him here for the W100 and as my guest, and he rode all 3 days, and I rode all 3 days, and this is 4 months post-surgery, so it's been pretty incredible. It was fun, overwhelming, definitely challenged me physically and mentally. One of the cool things, though, is that the volunteers, I fell back a couple times, but the volunteers were always there to pick me back up, or literally off the rocks. I fell a couple times, but that just added to the experience. One of the other cool things is one of the other warriors that I was riding, I actually met him, two of the guys, I met them about 5-6 years ago at other organization events, so it's kind of cool to see some old faces. But yeah, it was an unbelievable experience, and then you can add in all the other stuff, the dinners and things like that. It was and just being face to face, eating lunch with President Bush, or sitting on the couch next to the First Lady while Jay Leno's doing a stand-up routine. I mean, that's just something that I'll remember for the rest of my life. Man, my favorite memory, there's definitely a lot of them. I mean, I only know how I'm going to go home and explain to my wife and friends, what I just did over the last 3 or 4 days. But aside from the riding, David Blaine coming out and doing some of his tricks, and you're watching his hands, but you just can't figure it out. I thought that was pretty amazing. And then actually, this just happened. So my oldest daughter, Madison, she was nominated by her classmates to receive a Character Counts Award in the school district. Very proud of her, but she was presented this award yesterday. I missed it. She was upset about it. So President Bush just wrote her a little note to give to her. So